Alrighty, good morning. It is day 5, I think. Friday, Saturday, Tuesday. Yes, it's Tuesday today. And it is day 5, and it is also the 1st of October. And yeah, 1st of October, that's pretty cool. So it's the second month of spring. So I believe the weather is going to start getting a little bit warmer, which is really good for me because it means save a little bit of electricity on the ducted heating. But also, it means I can have the doors and windows open, get a bit of fresh air in. Okay, I cannot underestimate, not overestimate. Which one is it? I cannot do. You should not underestimate underestimate how important fresh air is for recovering at any point. I mean, for me, like some people may get a ton of fresh air. Some people like me, they just don't. They don't go outside all that often. They stay inside a lot. I mean, I would go outside more, but I have light sensitivity problems and the sun gives me headaches. Like I'm not even shitting you. The sun gives me headaches. I found out end of last year, bought a nice little lawn chair and an umbrella, sat outside, felt so wonderful. Absolutely wonderful until I started getting headaches. I'm like, why am I getting headaches? What's going on? Turns out the sun gives me headaches. It's just crazy. I'm pinning it down to light sensitivity. I'm hoping that it'll go away because it didn't used to happen. It only happened when my chronic fatigue started to get bad. So I'm hoping it'll go away and then I can go outside, relax, enjoy all the fresh air I want. But right now, got to keep the curtains closed. Can open the doors to get fresh air, but if it's like 10 degrees Celsius, then it just gets freezing and it's just, you can't do it. So yeah, looking forward to that. End of this week, and hopefully for the next couple of months, at least before it gets too hot, we'll be able to do that. So I almost feel like a news reporter at this point because there's so much that I want to cover. At some point, I'm going to run out of stuff. Maybe a few weeks from now, it's just going to be nothing to talk about. But for today, there's a ton of stuff to talk about. So first things first, when I woke up this morning, I was a little bit nauseous. I don't think it was from the food I ate yesterday, though. I have a feeling that I was just hungry, that I was just a little bit hungry, maybe a little bit nauseous from something, I'm not sure, but I think it was just mostly hungry. So that means that the meals I've cooked are good. And my God, the deli meat, first off, tasted okay, but there's so much of it. Like I bought half a kilo for $10 of deli meat, which is about the same amount that I spend on other meals. So I buy 8 chicken drumsticks for about $10 and they would cover 4 meals. So I thought, all right, buy 500 grams of deli meat for $10. That'll cover 4 meals. Way too much deli meat. Like I could have done 200 grams across 4 meals and I would have been able to finish it. Just 500 grams, way too much. That's with this, I think it was some sort of pork. The ham may be different. The ham I might be able to chew through 500 grams a lot easier than the pork, but we'll see. I was going to eat the ham today, but I forgot I have a dinner tonight, so that kind of throws out my food schedule. So I'll keep the ham till tomorrow. I got chicken drumsticks and ham today, deli ham. I can't push the chicken drumsticks back to tomorrow because chicken goes off a lot faster than ham. So I'll push the ham back. I'll have the chicken for breakfast and I'll still have the tacos middle of the day because I don't want to push the mince back either. That would be, I'm a little bit worried about that after getting sick last week. So anyway, all that sort of stuff. Couple more things. So I have been thinking more about the computer problem, trying to do stuff not on the computer. I have come up with a solution, and the solution is a book. Yes, The Hunger Games. I've read this like 5, maybe 6, 7 times, the entire series. But books, I mean, unless you really get into a book, it doesn't really hold you. And no books really hold me at all. I bought like a crap load of books last Christmas, or got my family to buy them anyway. Like all of the really big ones like Moby Dick. I even got War and Peace. I'm not sure if I'm going to read it. It's kind of a stretch goal, I guess, to read War and Peace. But I got them, so I got something to work towards. I tried picking one up and it's just, too hard. You gotta be intellectually stimulated just to be able to process those sort of books. So I got this. This one's not too bad, Hunger Games. It's pretty easy read. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a goal of 1 chapter every single day. So it's not just read it, and that'll distract you. It's you gotta have some sort of process to actually move on, to actually start doing this stuff. You can't just say, oh, I'm going to try and read a book or do some puzzles or something like that, and hopefully it'll distract me from the computer, because it won't. I mean, computers are just too awesome. Mobile phones are just too awesome. Books, they can't compete. So you've got to have some sort of goal where you get into a repetitious sort of thing to continuously do it every single day. And once you get into that repetition, then it starts to become routine. Then it starts to become a lot easier to just dive into a book. And I'm not saying it'll ever take over from a computer, because it won't. But that routine will become easier to easier. And as time goes on, you might it's easier to spend more time reading, like 2 chapters a day or 3 chapters a day. And once that becomes easier, then your computer problems will become less, because you're spending less time on the computer. And it'll be easier to just say, well, I've had enough computer, I'm going to go read now. Whereas right now, it's really hard for me to do that, because books just don't hold my attention. So anyway, I got that. I got the CFS book club going on. I'm going to start with some easy books. Might get into something hard later on. Try and work through my collection of really hard books. I got like Dickens. I got some Russian authors. I got all sorts of crazy crap in there. And it's just, it's stretch goals. It's very high stretch goals. But anyway, the main thing I wanted to talk about today, I guess, other than all this other stuff, it's something I was thinking about in the shower. I tend to think about a lot when I'm in the shower, and I have a shower just before I film this, so it's a pretty good time to do that. So the thing I wanted to talk about is somewhat related to the books, somewhat related to other things that I've been doing. Like, you'll notice I had a shave. This is not me shaving. I can't do a job this good. How do I turn this? It's like looking into a mirror and trying to show the right side of your face. You always end up showing the left side. Very disorientating. But yeah, so I've got to do some other stuff as well. Like, if you have a look at my fingers, my fingernails are very, very long. Trust me, they're long. It's not that not that easy to see. But anyway, so they need to be cut as well. And even things like cutting your fingernails or having a shower. I mean, most people, they just do it. They just go off and do it. People with CFS, obviously, there's effort in actually doing stuff like going into the shower and, cutting your nails and going out and getting a shave. I went to the barber and did this. But what most people don't realize is basically your mind screwing yourself when you think about doing these things. So I'll give you an example like this. Cutting my nails probably take me like 5 minutes to do all of them. And the physical effort, very minimal. But what really screws you over is thinking about doing it. Because what happens is you sit back and you say, okay, I got to cut my nails. And then you say, all right, I got to cut my nails and I got to do this other stuff. What's the other stuff I got to do? Let's figure out what the other stuff I got to do is. Let's prioritize it against cutting my nails. And also figure out if there's deadlines at some point. Do I need to have these done by a certain time? What's the priority with regards to the deadline? What's this? What's that? Blah, blah, blah. And before you know it, you've got a bucket with about 20 things in it. And once you get to the point where you're looking at the bucket and it's got 20 things in it, you're just like, no. You're overwhelmed. That's what happens with CFS. You get overwhelmed very easily simply by thinking about doing stuff. It doesn't even have to be a large number of things. It could be just one thing, like vacuuming the entire house. Now, that'll tire me out a little bit, but thinking about how it's going to tire me out tires me out even more. And thinking about, if I don't do it, then, it's going to be messy. And what if people come over and they're going to see how messy it is? That's going to tire me out as well, stressing about that sort of stuff. So it gets into it builds up fairly quickly until you reach the point where you're overwhelmed and you just say, no, not going to do it. And you just throw it all out. I'm being honest here, I haven't vacuumed my house in like a year, maybe 2. Like, serious, I haven't vacuumed a house in ages. My mum sometimes comes around and does it, but she's like nearly 60. It's not, it doesn't make sense, does it? My mum's 60 and she's come around vacuuming my house. But I tell her not to because I'm used to it by now. I'm just like, I don't give a crap. I see a bit of dust in the hallway and it's like this big, it's like massive. I just don't care anymore. I don't care because you stress about it, that tires you out. You go and clean it, then it's tiring to clean it, and then it just comes back after a few weeks. And then you got to do it again. And thinking about that cycle, like do it, if I just had to do it once and that's it, no more, I would just do it and get it over with. But you do it once and then a few weeks later you got to do it again. And a few weeks later you got to do it again. And when you're living by yourself and you're the only one who really cares if it's clean or dirty, it's a lot easier to just say, I don't give a crap. I don't give a crap if my house is clean or not. I'm just going to let it be dirty, not stress about it, choosing not to stress about it, because overall that's the way to get the most energy out. And I will say this though, if you're living in a clean house, perfectly clean house, you feel better. You absolutely will feel better. You're not looking at dirt. I think physically you feel better as well. Just because everything's clean and nice and stuff, it's got a mental impact, physical impact. But overall for me, the effort of having to do all the cleaning and thinking about doing all the cleaning is a large enough negative that it offsets the positivity of having a clean house. So I just don't clean it. I just do the minimum that I need to do to get by, and then I focus on the big things like recovering from going to work and stuff like that. Now, at the end of this 4 months, I may be at a point where like my CFS is good enough that I can go and clean, and the effect of having a clean house will be a higher net positive than the stress of having to clean and having to worry about cleaning is a negative. Maybe that'll happen. We'll just have to see. If I'm feeling amazing, then maybe I do it, but then maybe I'll go back to work and maybe I'm stressed out and tired because of work, and then I slip back into not cleaning the house, which is fine too. But the important thing is, I guess this comes back to the nails and the shaving and whatever else you need to do in your life. Okay? Don't think about it. Just if you got to do it, just do it. If you don't have to do it, then don't do it. And one strategy you can use, because obviously if you've got a whole bunch of stuff you have to do, you can't just do them all at the same time. You got to plan, you got to schedule, you got to figure out the order, you got to prioritize, and that amount of thinking can kill you as well. So what I like to do is just say, don't think about it, but do plan it. And that kind of sounds like an oxymoron, but basically what I do is I say, all right, I've got to do these 2 things. And I like to put things into days. And most of the time I got 2 buckets, today and not today. So what I did yesterday I said, okay, I got a free day. I got nothing on, absolutely nothing. I need to shave before Tuesday night. So either I shave on Monday or I shave on Tuesday. If I shave on Tuesday, that means going out twice, because I have to go out once in the evening for dinner and the second time earlier for the barber. And that's twice, going out twice in one day, which is not something I want to do if I can avoid it. It sounds crazy, but going out's not too bad, but thinking about going out, because you think about it for like an hour or 2 beforehand, like 2-3 hours before you're going out, you're thinking about going out, you're sitting at your computer, you're playing games, you're like, oh, I've got to go out in 2 hours. And that's something you think about for the next 2 hours, and that is tiring. It sounds crazy, but that is actually tiring. So if you've got something big, and going out is big for me. So if you got something big, you do once a day. So that's why I said, all right, I'm going to bite the bullet on Monday and go out to the barber on Monday. I didn't want to. I never want to go out if I don't have to. But I said, I'll bite the bullet because it'll be better on Tuesday. And as for the nails, I'm not going to do them on Monday. I'm going to push them aside and do them later. Do them another day. Now, I'll probably do them today. Maybe. I think I probably should do it. They need to be done. And I'm feeling a little bit motivated about doing them today because I've been talking about doing them. So now I'm a bit more motivated because I've sort of made a commitment to do them with the webcam that's currently recording me. So I'll probably get them done. And yeah, I have also made a commitment to read one chapter of a book. Okay, that's not routine yet. That's still a goal. So that still fits into the category of you need to get this done. It's not routine. Having a shower is routine. Working out in the morning to fix up my tendonitis is routine. Okay, they're not obstacles I have to overcome. They still are, but they're very minor obstacles. It's just like, it's routine at this point, so it doesn't worry me too much. But things like cutting my nails, reading a book, they're not routine. So they're obstacles at this point. The fact that you have to think about doing them tires you out. It probably tires you out more thinking about them than actually doing them. And that's the big problem with CFS. So definitely, if you're overwhelmed with stuff, if you've got a lot of stuff you need to do and it just, every time you think about doing one thing, it just overwhelms you, what you got to do is you got to have two buckets. First bucket is going to be today, second bucket, not today. And you put a couple of things in the today bucket and you put everything else in the not today bucket, and then all those other things you just forget about them, completely ignore them. And the things in your today bucket, you do them. You just knuckle down, get them done, get them out of the way as soon as possible, as early as possible, just get them done. Whether there's one thing or two things or three things in that today bucket, up to you, but get at least one thing in there. If you've got a lot of stuff, get at least one thing done a day. If you don't have a lot of stuff, then give yourself a free day. You know, if you can afford it, if you don't have a lot of stuff to do, then give yourself a free day. And yeah, just keep doing it like that. The today bucket, the not today bucket, and just keep going forward like that. And eventually things will get done without you getting overwhelmed. And that's the way to do it. And yeah, if anybody else tells you that, oh, you know, your house is messy, whatever, just whatever. Do what you need to do to get by. Don't try and live at the standards that everybody else lives at, because you will end up with a bucket with 50 things in it and it'll never get empty, ever. And you'll just get constantly overwhelmed and you'll never get anything done. So you need to figure out not only how to put the things you have to do into the bucket, but you need to reevaluate whether the things that you think you need to do are the things you actually need to do. Like I said, I have not vacuumed my house in over a year, okay? And I'm over it. If anybody tells me, oh, that's terrible, you're a terrible human being, I'm just going to say, I got chronic fatigue, I'm going to live the way I need to live, and you can go screw off. Because that's what you need to do, okay? You need to live the way you need to live, okay? You can't... So there's some things you can take advice from other people, other things you just can't. You will end up screwing yourself over. So that's me signing out for today. I'm going to continue the updates on the food over the rest of the week. I am feeling a lot better today. Thank you for asking. I'm feeling like this leave is going really slowly, which I'm very, very happy about. And I feel like I am improving. Even after half a week, I feel like I'm definitely improving. So hopefully it continues. Hopefully there's no potholes anywhere and it just keeps going up. This has been a very long vlog, but thank you very much for listening. And I will catch you guys again tomorrow. Have a good one.